have walked through the darkest valley. I was lost, couldn't find my way. But then I heard him from within, he who died for my sins. He spoke my name, then I saw his face. Yes, I've seen his eternal glory. I felt his hand when I was astray. I never knew until then what his love truly meant. I was lost, but now I'm found by his grace. By his grace, by his grace, I've been saved by the grace of my Lord. By his grace, by his grace, I've been saved by the grace of my Lord. He is the Lamb and he is the shepherd. He's the burning flame within my soul. The fire in my heart. He is my joy, he is my song. He is right when all is wrong. He's my savior and the light in the dark. Oh, I know I'm on a long and arduous journey. It is a narrow and a winding path. But he is always there through hope and despair. And when I'm lost, I'm always found by his grace. By his grace, by his grace, I've been saved by the grace of my Lord. By his grace, by his grace, I've been saved by the grace of my Lord. He will never let me down. Help me stand my ground. He is always there for me. Oh, he will never all my battles will be won. By his grace, by his grace, I've been saved by the grace of my Lord. By his grace, by his grace, I've been saved by the grace of my Lord. By his grace, by his grace, I've been saved by the grace of my Lord. By his grace, by his grace, I've been saved by the grace of my Lord.
Good morning, good evening, friends, wherever you're joining from. I'm Bethany, kind of creator behind Simplified Piano alongside my husband, Matthew, who you don't get to see a whole lot, but he's on the tech side, does all of our editing. filming, all of that. So we are so delighted to spend a few minutes with you this morning. Or like I said, some of you are already from other countries joining in and you are already in the evening. So pretty fascinating how technology can draw us together. So I thought I would wait just a little bit for more of you to hop on while I do a little bit of chatting. So today I'm going to kind of teach you a fancy trick that you can apply to any holiday song coming up. So we have Thanksgiving right around the corner and Christmas, two joyous holidays that we can celebrate the birth of Jesus and give thanks for all we have. And so I thought I would pick some songs that I can show you this little fancy trick today and show you how you can just break up this little rhythm that I'm going to show you. This fancy trick that can just really unlock the ability for you to be able to really have fun playing songs that you know and love. Maybe it's songs that you've known from your childhood or songs that you hear on the radio or hear at church. I really hope this trick kind of just unlocks a little bit of musical creativity in your brain and in your fingers and ultimately gives you joy as you worship the Lord and share your gifts with others. So this little trick that I'm going to tell you, show you how to do is really simple in theory, meaning it's easy sometimes for our brains to understand things, but sometimes to get our fingers to unlock and our brains to communicate with our fingers can be altogether a different challenge, right? It's kind of like when we're watching little toddlers, learn how to walk. It's like, how can it be that hard? Left, right, right? And then you watch them and they go left, right, left, and then they tumble, and then they stand up, and then they plop down. And they have many, failures before they find success in being able to consistently walk like a marching rhythm. And I think the same is true with our musical journey too. Like a lot of it should be easy in theory, and a lot of times it is, but the coordination and the function of getting our brains to communicate correctly and our fingers to operate the way that we want them to, I think that can be just the challenge. And so the challenge really for you and for me as we develop and grow and learn new skills is to just continue to get back up when we fall, to continue to plow through when you make mistakes. Just continue to come back to that piano bench, right? And find joy, finding songs you know and love, maybe in a simple key like the key of C, which is the easiest key to play in. And so I hope you find yourself just coming back because you crave wanting to learn something that's challenging and then find kind of the success along the way where you finally see that toddler like finally take off and they don't fall every, 2 seconds. And that can be really frustrating to get out of that like tumble and fall and tip over and crash and have bumps and bruises, right? It can get frustrating to get beyond that little bit of a struggle where it becomes more second nature to you. And so anyway, let's jump in to the tips and tricks. You guys can drop comments in the chat. My husband will be responding to them. If you have questions, he can ask them to me, and then I can answer them a little bit later. So make sure to get all your questions ready and post them in the chat too. So this simple trick that I want to show you is a simple way of, instead of playing chords solid, right? Here's a C major chord. We can play them solid, right? Where we play all 3 finger notes together. So how I teach is chords. I often teach single notes in my left hand, chords in our right hand. If you've been with us for any period of time, that's just kind of the basics of how I teach simplified piano, right? To be able to just get your hands used to chording and singing along to the piano, to songs you know and love, right? So chords could be played solid, and that could look like this. So I'm going to sing How Great Is Our God for the first example of kind of a song that you can spend time worshiping the Lord as we come into Thanksgiving and praise. So you could play it like this, right? How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God, right? We're just playing single notes in here. We're playing chords over here to this rhythm that I teach on our channel called 1-to-2 ratio. It's just a way of going together, right, together, right. Well, beyond that, it would be fun to kind of make this fancy trick come alive, to make the music sound a little bit more sophisticated, not so choppy, not so, boring, where you kind of begin to have all of your music start to sound the same. If you're in that season, I was right there with you all those years ago. So instead of playing solid chords like this, let's just begin to break them up. So instead of playing solid 1, 3, 5 at the same time, just start with your bottom, middle, and then top note. Bottom, middle, top. It's a broken chord. You're just breaking up that pattern instead of solid chords. Now you're breaking it up. So listen to this. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? And now we'll sing, how great is our God. See how simple that can be in theory, right? Solid chords, pretty easy, right? We get to play all 3 notes at the same time. Our fingers kind of coming into that pattern of just like all pouncing down like an elephant stomping on our keyboard. But then the pattern breakup is where your brain, your fingers are going to have to get some coordination going, right? So you could just practice that on any chord. Bottom, middle, top, thumb, middle finger, pinky, over and over on any chord. And you could practice both hands. Okay, so let's listen to Once Again, I Look Upon the Cross Where You Died. This is a song by Joel Houston, Matt Crocker. So here we go. Once again, I look upon the cross where you died. I'm humbled by your mercy and I'm broken inside. Once again, I thank you. Once again, I pour out my life. So I'm adding some other things in there, but the idea, the trick there is just broken chords. Cross where you died. I'm humbled by your mercy and I'm broken inside. And once again, I thank you. Once again, I pour out my life. So if you're implementing 7 chords, 2 chords, suspended chords, split chords, all of those beautiful chords that we really, for our YouTube channel and our students and our memberships, we strip those chords out because they're complex in the beginning. But if you are playing those chords, use that same concept and use that broken chord pattern implementing with those extended chords as you might already be playing in your music. Another idea is if you're already playing inversions, we teach those further into our memberships too, which is a much quicker way to get from one chord to the next. And so you can implement that same idea with your inverted chords, just in the idea that you're playing the bottom finger, your middle finger, or whatever finger number it happens to be, and then your top finger. And you're using the idea of inversions or extended chords or even root position chords, just like that C major chord, in the idea of breaking it up into broken chord pattern, okay? Here's another one. We're going to teach this a little bit later on. If you have not heard, we have a Christmas Carols boot camp coming up at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, so just a little less than an hour. We're going to be jumping into teaching you some Christmas carols. So I thought I would implement this same trick, this same broken chord pattern into some Christmas songs so that you can see what they're like. And we dropped the link in the chat there. So you can, I think if it's not a hyperlink, you can copy and paste that into your web browser. You can sign up, and it's a live training where I teach a lot of really fancy, fun Christmas rhythms to songs like Come Thou Long Expected Jesus and Noel and Away in a Manger. So I'm going to show you what that could look like implementing this little trick that I taught you. Okay, so here is What Child Is This? This is key of A minor. It's a really moody key. It's super fun. Same idea. Now I'm just kind of implementing it into my left and my right hand. So not just single notes over here anymore. Now we're building. So might be a challenge for a lot of you, and that's okay. This is where we kind of strip these down and teach them more simplified in our training. So here it goes like this. What child is this who lay to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch our keeping. Okay, that's just kind of a I know I'm probably make it look more simplified than it is, right? It's kind of like when we watch the kid finally walk and then they run and then they skip and then they hop and then they do cartwheels, right? We forget that they were once like in the beginning stages of falling every 2 seconds, right? And then we just think like, wow, it's amazing. Like one day they were falling and then the next day, like you can't even keep control of your toddler because they're running around in a parking lot, right? Same thing with piano. Like we just stumble and fall, and these concepts are really hard in theory, but also application. And then pretty soon we keep practicing, and we look back to our journey. And sometimes maybe we don't even give ourselves enough credit to look back and say, oh man, I have really come a long way. So I hope you do that in your journey of like, maybe your eyes used to be so glued, you didn't even know where middle C was. You didn't even know how to form a chord. And now you're playing, a song that looks like this. What child is this who laid, where we teach that really simple way, a much simpler approach to learning than it is the traditional way where you have to learn quarter notes and eighth notes and 16th notes and all the things, right? We try to simplify that journey through chording. Okay, let's look at Come Thou Long Expected Jesus. We're using that same idea where we're doing broken chords all throughout both hands. And you could just do broken chords in your right hand if you're just beginning this idea, unlocking this trick in your right hand. Okay, here we go. Come thou long expected Jesus, born to set thy people free from our fears and sins. Release us, let us find our rest in thee. Israel's strength and consolation, hope of all the earth thou art. Okay, again, I'm probably making it look more complex than it is, but it also comes down to practice, repetition, getting your hands to unlock from that permanent sort of chord position where everything's sort of blocked up. It's block chords. It's a little bit more rigid. And when you're practicing this pattern, you're just going to have to take a lot of time to relax the wrists. You could practice on C and C, right? You could practice on left hand on C position, right hand on C position, move up to the next set of notes, maybe D minor, left hand, right hand, one right after the other, F chord position, both hands, G, A minor. Again, you're just doing the bottom up to the top, so to speak. Bottom up to the top. You're moving your way up to the right of the keyboard when you're doing this. Bottom, middle, top, bottom, middle, top. Let's look at Away in a Manger. This is another fun Christmas one that you probably know from childhood. Here we go. Away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the sky looked down where he lay, the little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. Okay, again, bottom, middle, top, bottom, middle, top, bottom, middle, top, bottom, middle, top. And you're kind of, I think sometimes, especially if you come from like a theory background where you're very heavily learning in that classical environment, you're learning quarter notes, eighth notes, measures and sharps and flats and, how to pedal and all these things. Sometimes those logistics, can become so overwhelming that we just forget to just like have a little bit of freedom and flexibility and beauty in our playing and not be so focused on the technicalities of playing. I know I came from a really strong classical training background, really didn't feel like I could play hardly anything. And then when I learned about chording, accompaniment, my whole musical world just blew up. I was like, I knew there had to be a simpler way to enjoy the piano because that style of learning just didn't fit me. And you could maybe relate, right? You're maybe taking classical, maybe you had them as a child and you quit, you thought you weren't musical. And hopefully at Simplified Piano, with our YouTube channel, all those free tutorials you can take advantage of, you really find a breakthrough in being able to just sit down, chord along to the songs you know and love. Maybe it's holiday songs like, Give Thanks, or How Great Thou Art, some classic hymns, or Here I Am to Worship, some contemporary worship songs as well. And then in our, you start with our free YouTube tutorials and you get those two hands working together. And then you find out, oh, I really want to go on. I'm getting the master of this. Like, I'm being able to walk left, right, like a little toddler. Like, I want to learn how to skip. I want to learn how to jump. I want to learn how to do cartwheels and have fun and run super fast and play really beautiful sounding music. That's where, continuing to dive into more courses, memberships that we have, so that you can just learn one little tip along the way. And so really the Christmas Carols Bootcamp is a great way to do that coming into the holiday season. And we have tons of, Thanksgiving type themed songs as well that you can apply this same pattern to that I taught you today. But the holiday Christmas songs are really super fun. Up on the Housetop, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, songs like Mary Did You Know, Noel, kind of those more beautiful sounding songs, less whimsical like the Rudolph song. But that's super fun. And I hope you we'll paste the link in there. So it's in the comment section and you can join us in the next half hour. We're going to start at 10 a.m. Central. There's still time to jump in and join us. So I would love if you guys have questions, you guys can drop them in the chat. Otherwise, I really hope this trick kind of gives you some inspiration, some musical freedom, a few ideas on how you can take your current songs that you're learning and run with them and break up that monotonous, choppy, perhaps boring rhythm that you're sort of stuck in. And hopefully that just gives you some tips and tricks to run with today. So if you guys have any questions in the chat, I would love to spend the next few minutes. If you guys have any, let me know and I'll answer them live. Don't be shy. Love to know how this helped you. If this was something a concept you've already sort of mastered. You can always email us as well. If you have any questions about where you can start with your journey, you can, maybe we'll drop that in the chat later, info@simplifiedpiano.com. And that's our email. But inside of our memberships, that's where you kind of get a really close connection with other students that are like-minded. They're on the same musical journey, most of them of faith, wanting to have a deeper relationship with the Lord and being able to worship Him. That's the style of music that we teach, is worship music. We break down kind of the complex ideas and we break them down into really hopefully simplified steps that you can just learn one at a time. And pretty soon you look back and your music has just like really blown up, right? You find more musical creativity, more musical freedom, and more joy in the process. So anybody have any questions? Otherwise, that's all we got for you today. And thanks for tuning in. We're so thankful for you guys as our community, supporting us on our YouTube channel. Good to have you, Jacob. Who else is on here? Let's scroll up. Drop questions in the chat. Hey, Lynn, good to have you on. Joy from India, I believe. Jim, good to have you as well. Tickling the Ivories with Bobby P. Good to have you this morning. And DG, good to have you as well. So thanks everyone for hopping on. Anybody else have last minute questions? Drop them in the chat. We'd love to answer them for you live. Anybody? I'll wait another 30 seconds, minute, if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, I won't hold you any longer. So the Up on the Housetop, the Away in a Manger, It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. Those are some of the songs we're going to be teaching next. So if you guys don't have anything going on, you can also catch any date or time that we have live events coming up. And if you can't catch it live because of your time difference or because of your different work schedules or anything like that, we have them pre-recorded, pre-edited, so you can watch the recording anytime. We also have them into bite-sized videos. So if I'm teaching a certain concept or rhythm, you can easily go in and watch a 5 to 10 minute video that's already broke down. It's more simple. Matt edits all the notes on the keyboard for all of that content as well. So that way you can just take time and process in your own, schedule instead of having to feel like you have to learn it all in a live setting. We also have tons of resources that way. So that way, if you're just ready at 2 a.m. and you can't sleep, you can jump on the piano and learn something during the night. So anyway, good to have you, Lynn Pam from Missouri. Lynn A, good to have you. All right. Any questions at the last minute there on the bottom? I can't see to the bottom of the screen. Oh, okay. All right, good. Well, thanks for hopping on. I hope you guys had a lot of fun, and we'll catch you next time. Hope to see you at the Christmas Carols Boot Camp soon or in the next 6 weeks before Christmas, 6-8 weeks. All right. Have a good day, guys. See ya.